you introduced me. Okay. I thought I had been replaced, and I was like, well, I didn't do anything. All right. So, if this had come to me any sooner, I would have had a slide. But I had a really stressful week, and I just wasn't thinking about this till about 2 hours ago. So, if I had a slide, which I didn't meet the deadline for that, I probably would have called it what's the use in judging someone? And today I'll be coming out of Romans 2, was it like 1 through 5? Okay, maybe 1 through 5. That should be good enough. And I think the first verse probably like sets the precedent for what I'm going to talk about. So, therefore you have no excuses or justification, every one of you who hypocritically judges and condemns others, for in passing judgment on another person, you condemn yourself, because you who judge from a position of arrogance or self-righteousness are practicing the very same things which you denounce. Oh, I'll just paraphrase it. Essentially, judging will do no one any good, because you're only going to put yourself down, you're going to put that person down, and then all of a sudden nobody's feeling good and nobody's happy. There are plenty of examples in the Bible, which I don't know specifics, but I'm pretty sure each and every one of you can think of something in your own life that has happened to you where you decided to judge someone, like out loud, and they heard you, and then what happened? I didn't even have to say anything, meaning that there was a consensus. And another important thing to remember is that judgment and condemnation are always up to God. And the thing that's interesting about like these 5 verses is that whenever they say judgment, they also use condemnation. Meaning a lot of times those two go hand in hand, because like, how many times do you judge someone in a positive light and they're not related to you? Yeah. And the second verse is, and we know that the judgment of God falls justly and in accordance with truth on those who practice such things. But do you think this, O man, when you judge and condemn those who practice such things, and yet do the same yourself, that you escape God's punishment and elude his verdict? So playing God. You won't escape God's judgment just because you think you're on some higher level than everyone else around you. Because all of us have made mistakes, all of us have sinned at some point, we're working on it, hopefully, and he's essentially saying you have no right to judge someone the same way God does.
Amen.
And then verse 4, or do you have no regard for the wealth of his kindness and tolerance and patience in withholding his wrath? Are you actually unaware or ignorant of the fact that God's kindness leads you to repentance? That is to change your inner self, your old way of thinking, and seek purpose for your life. But because of your callous stubbornness and unrepentant heart, you are deliberately storing up wrath for yourself on the day of when God's righteous judgment will be revealed. So, yeah. Each time you judge someone, it'll come back to bite you later on.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. I can't really, I can't really go further than that. All right, so I'm done.
Amen.